This program is proudly brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.
Welcome to First Issues. An entrepreneur by definition is somebody who sees a problem and then creates a solution for it. They have a keen eye to identify opportunities, but most importantly, a follow-through mindset that allows them to seize these opportunities before they pass them by. And that's exactly what our guest did. A former teacher of English and guidance and counseling who is now an entrepreneur in the agriculture space. Our guest is Amanda Masire from Green Technologies, a horticulture and dry land farming service center. They supply agricultural equipment from greenhouses, tunnels to pipes, shade net structures to mention but a few, and also does consultancy services in the agriculture space. Before all this, she was a teacher and had been one for 10 years. Recognizing the available financial opportunities and potential gains from government and other aid agencies, she decided to ditch the chalk and has not looked back since. She is now primarily based in Francistown, where she has hectares upon hectares of farmland, but occasionally visits her Rebaone establishment, Greenhouse Technologies, where it all began. Greenland Leisure Farm, which is her establishment in Francistown, is an agro-tourism farm with event facilities, poultry farming, greenhouse and shade net farming, where beetroot, cabbage, peas and tomatoes are currently growing, with another section of small stock. One may wonder, what gave her the confidence to just go for it? What keeps her going, especially now when farming has become everyone's fallback plan? Here is Miss Amanda. Miss Amanda, thank you so much for coming on First Issues and affording us your time. We're here today to talk to you about your entrepreneurial journey. Let us start there. You were working as a teacher for 10 years, and then you just decided to quit and then start or go into agriculture. What was the motivation behind that?
Okay, thank you for the question. I must say thank you, First Issues, for being here today. And I left teaching because it was time to do myself, you know. It is important to know your purpose and self-satisfaction. I did my part. I was tired of the monotony. It wasn't subscribing to the lifestyle I believed in, so I jumped into entrepreneurship.
A fun fact is that Miss Amanda says she was not passionate about farming or agriculture. In fact, she hates being in the sun. She, however, soon realized that the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow can only be found in the sector. Miss Amanda is now a contact farmer, supplying farm produce to such supermarkets as Mr. Veg, Choppies and Sefalana. She also hosts corporate team building workshops, corporate wellness days, weddings and other functions at this farm.
Yes, that is so true. I am your typical girl. I like my skin. I don't really like being in the sun. And it boils down to that agriculture is a whole value chain. Some people will be the farmers, some people will be the suppliers, some people will be the consultants, some people will be the trainers. So I'd been teaching for 10 years and I got tired of the monotony. And I've always wanted to be a businesswoman. So it was allocation of funds in Botswana suggested that it's people in agriculture that were going to be smiling to the bank. I'm not really a farmer. I'm a farmer developer. I just farm a bit for research purposes and to walk the talk. But if you call me a farmer, then what are we going to call all those people in Pandamatenge? I am more a farmer developer and a conceptualizer for Botswana government in helping them achieve their goal in agriculture development, because as an entrepreneur, I figured that's where the money was.
You wake up every morning with this big dream that you want to be one of the people in the great books of the agricultural space in Botswana, as a woman no less. But do you have any fears that that may not become a reality? And if so, how do you overcome them?
At the moment, I would say I am really grateful for Botswana government. I often say if I die and come back again, I hope I come back in Motswana, because they are deliberate about helping us and developing us as Botswana, so that makes it a little bit easier for me. But it is just not easy. I have to keep evolving with the times and thinking ahead for my customer. Imagine how many irrigation systems, greenhouses, net houses, tunnels were put up for the ban, the vegetable ban. And then there's a new administration, boom, they are lifting the ban. And you are responsible for all these farmers who are discouraged and are leaning back on you. They are somewhat your partners. You took the journey with them. So I always try to be on top of my game, hence why I'm aspiring to be the hemp production queen right now. I want them to use their infrastructure. I'm helping them find the market. We've got BQ accreditations for hemp. For me, it's always about the farmer. And our slogan is the farmer must succeed, because that's where my success comes from.
Looking back now with the experience that you have, what do you think could have been one thing that you would have done differently?
You know, funny enough, I don't have very many regrets, because I believe everything was written. It was supposed to happen, and I am only grateful that not many have survived in this space, and I have, and I continue to to evolve with the industry. So I'm the last person to be complaining. I ought to be encouraging other people and telling them that, if I can do it, so can you. Keep persevering. Here I am, a woman in a male-dominated terrain, agriculture in a desert country. Let's keep going and get the right mentors, understand your customer, and be of service. It's not what you want that sells, it's what the customer wants. That's one thing I always bear in mind.
Let us land our plane right here and our conversation. What words of motivation and encouragement would you have for other aspirant entrepreneurs or those who are already in the space, whatever industry they may be trying to penetrate or are already working in?
I just want to share something that I learned from Sir Richard Branson. The customer is not always right, but they have the right to throw tantrums and get a bit out of hand sometimes, which is a right you don't have. There's a nice way of saying no. And to evolve with the times. Don't be fixated in one thing. Involve in your own industry. Try to stay focused. I've had different people come to me to suggest partnering with me for other businesses, because they thought I could probably do the same magic that I did in agriculture. But I stayed focused. Diversify in your own industry.
bitsa motho gore motho a leke mangwala go duela metsi.
Mama, ka rama le jana ha o tlhoka le go tsamela kgakala gore go duela metsi. FNB re diretse tiro motho.
Senthe.
Ma kwa go marekisetsong a ile gore ana le tshwala FNB Cash Plus. Se se tlhokanyela ke o mangwa ga go mo tirisong le reference number e bon dinomoro tse diriswang go ruragatsa dituelo tsa gago.
FNB what?
FNB Cash Plus.
Madonna makante ke montso samplele ka mananeo a FNB ya Cash Plus.
Hela, ha re le nna ke gone go utwang ka dona. Ebile ke ne ke sa dumele.
Deposit cash and coins, withdraw from e-wallet, make cardless cash withdrawals, buy prepaid airtime and electricity, pay bills such as water, electricity and many more.
FNB. Dona. Nyawa ene ke ra sa thare. Mpare motiki. Na ke ra go mothotho hela mamarapedi. Go tola skontere hela. O bua go semosong wa go duela semosong. Manane wa FNB Cash Plus.
Amogelasega mo First Issues. Mo legatong le lešwa la thulaganyo ya rona re tla bo re bua le bagwebipotlana ka maeto a bone mo kgwebong e le maiteko a go rotloetsa ba bangwe gore le bone ba tsene mo dikgwebong jaaka re lebaganwe ke namane e kgolo ya letlhoko la ditiro. Mo karolwaneng eno re tla bo re remeletse mo dikgwethong dingwe tsa bagwebi ba ka lebaganang le tsone le gore ba kgonne go di emela ka dinao jang. Motho o ka kgonang go bua ka se ke Kabo Mbaembe kwa Fresh Steps Sneaker Laundry kwa motsaneng wa Nko ya Phiri. Kabo o kile a bana le babereki ba le batlhano mme ka se sebaka o setse ka ba le babedi morago ga gore madirelo a gagwe a lore a sala a sena sepe sa nang naso. Lentswa se sene se ka dira ba le bantsi gore ba itlhoboge. Kabo o na se ka ineela a simolola sešwa mo ka se sebaka a kgonang go tlhatswa ditlhako di le 450 kana 450 ka kgwedi. Mowa o wa go sa iphelela pelo wa go sa ineela o tswa kae? Re bua le Kabo mo First Issues a tlhalosa pele gore kgwebo ya gagwe o isimolotse ka ngwaga wa 2021 a sena go latlhegelwa ke tiro ka mabaka a se gajaja sa COVID-19.
Kgwebo ya Fresh Steps Sneaker Laundry re simolotse ka 2021 ka April. Mabaka ne le go fila gepe mo marketing gape le go senka botshelo after re tswa mo COVID-19. Ne ke le bartender so ile COVID-19 e tsena ra re ga ke nna mo lapeng ke sa bereke then a ke ntse ke mo lapeng ne ke ntse ke lebella le ne ke bala ke bona gore ke research gore tota seng se tla ka leng teng nka ira madikaeng gape be ke lebella gore gepe mo marketing go short time se le gore nka so fara batho ba mo go ditshana so be ke tla ka idea ya go tlhatswa ditlhako.
Ena ya re ka ngwaga wa 2023 madirelo a ga Kabo a jewa ke molelo mme bile se sa dira gore a batle go ineela mo maitekong a gagwe a go itshetsa.
Ya ena re ka 2023 be ke tsusiwa bosigo ka bo 1 go tuka hana gore ga se go ntse sentle hela bile ka nna le pelonyana go ya go tlala go itlhoboga batho ba ke bereka le bone ba ke bona gore ba na le tumela gore go ba berekela le bone so ntse re tswe plena gore re go tsosa gape wa bona kgwetlhokgolo ne le inexperience ya go manager madi a leng gore a tsena mo kgwebong go leka gore re godise ka nako e rileng wa bona re ithuta ka bonya go tshwara madi go budgeta go kwala dilo hela bookkeeping bo di receipt ya tse leng gore di dira gore batho ba kgone gore tshepa di terms and conditions sometimes se tla gore itse gore re mmolela gore no re ka kgona go ira se a re kgone go ira sena a ka se go nne le ntwa magareng ga rona le customer.
Kabo a re ba rotloetsi ba kgwebo ya gagwe ke bone ba dirang gore a tsoge tsatsi le letsatsi a ititeile sehuba gore le fa go ka nna jang a seka a itlhoboga.
Go sa itlhoboga mona tota go tswa mo bathong ba leng gore ba rotloetsa mo kgwebong ya rona because go na le batho ba leng gore ba sa le ba tswa kgakala le rona le gompieno ba ntse ba dumela mo tirong e re ba e direlang ba e rata ebile ba e value ba ntse ba se dilo tsa bone kwana ba re tshepa ka dilo tsa bone so ke nngwe ya dilo tse leng gore di irile gore tota re se ka ra itlhoboga thata ka tiro e re irang re tswelele re nna le enthusiasm ya gore re kgone go nna ntse re tlhagana tsatsi le letsatsi customer tsa rona ke tsone tse di dirang tota nka re morale or re kgone gore re tsoga phakela re tlo go bereka tota.
Boeng wa rona o dumela gore fa ne a itsile go dira dibuka tsa kgwebo go sa le pele nka bo kgwebo ya gagwe e godile go feta fa.
Tota se leng gore ka se lemoga gonana se leng gore ne ke sa se lemoge pele ke sa se itse ne kganya dibuka go bala dibuka sentle go balansa dibuka tsa business sentle gape ke sa latlhelele ke make sure gore every day ke nna consistent ke lebella gore business e ira se gore se tsena le se tswang ke se bona gore go bereka ya nla nka be go nnile le pharologanyo thata nka be ke itse se ke se itseng back then ha ke bula business but ke proud gore gona se ke se itseng ke tsaya ke re go ya go pele wa go nna le pharologanyo wa go shape le future ya kgwebo ya me gore gone go nna kgwebo le gore sustainable ebile e create le employment among the community le banana kana.
Kabo o kgothatsa banana ba bangwe gore ba seka ba nna hatshe ka mabogo ba ka ntshane maele le ditsela tsa go itshetsa jaaka le tlhoko la ditiro le tsweletse ka go golela pele.
A gona ditiro a bone but go a gona gore ka simola re ka batla gore re spoon feed ba bone diatla tsa rona le ditlhaloganya tsa rona di a bereka re banana re na le bokgoni ba go ka ba change seemo se re selela mo go sone ka go nna innovative go lebelela gore go shota eng around ha re nnang teng le mo lehatsheng la rona ka bophara se le gore ka so far then after that ke gone madi a tlabeng a tsena because wa bo solve le di-problems tsa batho ga nyela gore ke batla di-solution go solve mathata a batho ba re tshela le bone mo mahelong a re nang go gone.
Ta bitsa motho gore motho a leke mangwala go duela metsi.
Mama ka re male jana ha o tlhoka le go tsamela kgakala gore go duela metsi FNB re diretse tiro motho
senthe
mma kwa go marekisetsong a ile gore ana le tshwala FNB Cash Plus se se tlhokanyela ke o mang wa gago mo tirisong le reference number e bong dinomoro tse diriswang go ruragatsa dituelo tsa gago.
FNB what?
FNB Cash Plus.
Madonna makante ke ngotso sampolele ka mananeo ya FNB ya Cash Plus.
Hela ha re le nna ke gone go utwang ka dona ebile ke ne ke sa dumele
Deposit cash and coins, withdraw from e-wallet, make cardless cash withdrawals, buy prepaid airtime and electricity, pay bills such as water, electricity and many more.
FNB dona nyawa ene ke ra sathare mpare motiki na ke ra go motho hela mamarapedi go tola sekontere hela o bua go semosong wa go duela semosong manane wa FNB Cash Plus.
Thank you for watching First Issues. We're inching closer to the end of this short series on insurance as one of the possible solutions that can help entrepreneurs guard against the risk of financial loss as one of the challenges that most enterprises face. In an effort to help with solutioning for risk mitigations, the segment of First Issues remains steadfast in bringing conversations that focus on addressing these challenges. As we bring this series to an end, Rebaone Khuwe, who's Business Development Manager at First National Bank Insurance Brokers, discusses motor insurance comprehensive cover.
The motor comprehensive cover covers even up to a third-party liability limit of up to 2.5 million pula. So what I mean in this instance is that should you be involved in an accident and your vehicle is damaged, will also extend to cover the cost of those people or those assets that you have damaged for those third parties. Seka e ka nna gore ke kgweetsa my own vehicle, my own company car, e be ke thula le watana la motho kan ke thula koloi ya motho e thula le watana la motho. In that instance, then I am liable for the damages of those two people's assets. That would be the vehicle and the boundary wall. So in that case, the cost of having to restructure that boundary wall and the cost of having to repair that other vehicle will be covered by my policy if those people are not insured.
You know, motor insurance it can be different. I don't know if it applies for commercial cover, but sometimes you can choose to only have like third-party cover. Is this the same case for this kind of insurance when we're looking at commercial vehicles?
The third-party cover only covers damage to those assets that you have caused damage to as a policy holder. An example would be that my vehicle is insured for third-party cover only. Now the insurance will now repair the vehicle. The insurance will pay the cost of that person, but my own vehicle would now not be insured. So we really encourage our clients to take up the comprehensive cover. Remember, these vehicles, we buy them with our hard-earned money. So we'd really encourage that you take up the comprehensive cover. You can only imagine you are having to now repair your vehicle, and unfortunately that's the only vehicle that you use for your business operations. So now business has to stop because you did not take up the comprehensive cover. So as a word of encouragement would be that, or as rather advice would be that, let's take up the comprehensive cover to ensure that we are fully covered or adequately covered.
You know, it's important for our viewers who may be entrepreneurs or wanting to venture into this to know to the fullest extent what they're covered for and what they may not be covered for. I think it is very clear what you may be covered for, but what is important, or most important, is to know what you are not covered for. So let us talk about the exclusions for the motor insurance comprehensive cover.
Yes, so what is not covered for, as I've mentioned, any insurance policy does not cover wear and tear. Wear and tear ke ha so se tsohala pente ya koloi ya oboga diishoko dintse di a senyega over time when the car is moving. So it does not cover for wear and tear, and then also it does not cover misappropriate use of the vehicle. An example, you are operating as a travel and tours company. We have insured your vehicle, and then the comes route route 6 now you are a taxi, so that would not be covered for. That is what I'm referring to as a misappropriate use of the vehicle.
So I think at this point, because we are at the end of our series and conversation on insurance, really, you could reiterate to our viewer who is an entrepreneur wishing to become one, the importance of getting insurance covers.
Yeah. So insurance is very, very important because first of all, it gives you peace of mind. Remember, as a business person in operation, you have to have that peace of mind knowing that you are adequately covered in the event that you incur a loss. These assets are the ones that are bringing in the money to help continue with the daily operations of the business. And then also it also assists for business continuity. If you suffer a loss, there are certain classes of insurance that will ensure that even if that particular asset is not there, but there's still business continuity to ensure that those daily operations of the business are still ongoing.
Join us again next time as we bring to a close this short series on insurance with Business Development Manager at FNB Insurance Brokers, Rebaone Khuwe. With that, we have come to the end of tonight's installment of Thursday Issues. Until next time, have yourselves a pleasant evening. Good night. This program was proudly brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.